Speaking about children, though, there was something on Jim's life I wanted to go back and touch on a little bit that's really important. And I think it's a big pillar to who he is you were adopted.
I was.
Ooh.
You were adopted, and you were one of 3 children.
I am the youngest of 3. I have 2 siblings, both sisters.
Yeah.
And all adopted from different families. It's not like we were all adopted together. We were all adopted from day one. It's an interesting story. My parents obviously wanted to have kids. They wanted to have a third after they adopted 2 girls, but they wanted a boy.
Yeah.
So they waited for a boy to come, and they actually got a boy. Kind of a cool story, and took him home, and they had that boy for I think it was less than a week. I don't know exactly how long it was, but it was a couple days. I didn't know you had return policies on kids, but they basically called the adoption agency up and said, this is not our child. This is not the one.
Oh, wow.
And they returned the child. And so then they got called again, and there was another child, and that was me. And so I was the second choice in their pick of a boy.
They knew it was you.
You were their first choice.
You were theirs.
That's correct.
Their first
You were
choice.
their first choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember his mom telling the story. Like, I held that baby, and it just did not feel like my baby. It was not my baby.
Yeah.
He's like, I couldn't keep that baby. That was not my baby. And she was really sad, and it was hard for her because they had been waiting quite a while for a boy.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like this easy little thing. And so it's really, I can't help but cry
heartfelt.
every time.
What
It's
was
really
the time
it's
frame?
like really deep and emotional connection that she felt for you. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, not a second choice, but a much deeper, in-depth connection.
yeah.
Well, and she shared that story with me when I was young, because I grew up always knowing that I was adopted. Never knew who my birth parents were. That was always a closed adoption. But I knew I was adopted, and so that also played into. I was a redhead. I was adopted. I wasn't very athletic. Still not very athletic. I don't make my money with my body. I use my mind instead. And it's taken me 55 years to realize that, but I am who I am at this point. But I was always able to know that, because I did get teased being adopted, because I knew I was adopted, and I told kids I was adopted, and kids are brutal at that age. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they're assholes.
Especially like that time back then, because most kids didn't know they were adopted, right? Back when,
it was more popular to hide
they
it.
didn't know they were adopted because it was usually kept a secret.
Yeah, for a long time. In that era, it definitely was.
Yeah.
So I always learned the line that I got to tell the kids that, you know what, they could say whatever they want, but their parents got stuck with them. My parents chose me.
Yeah.
You know, so that was always my
really
comeback
Yeah.
for them. So and that I'll continue on that. I know we're kind of going older and back to young, but we'll continue down this theme. Actually, once Mindy and I got together, we started to do some branching off into the journey, because I actually reached out and met my birth mother. I didn't meet her. I'm sorry. I contacted my birth mother, and my oldest sister has a really good relationship with her birth mother, who has since passed, but she was number 6 of 7 kids. So if you think about that, they gave a kid up for adoption and then had another child. So it was kind of a weird situation, but it was an unwanted pregnancy, so they gave her up for adoption. And when my sister found her birth family, they brought her in as she all of a sudden had 6 new siblings, and family. And at the time, my first wife and I were going through adoption because we only had one child. And so in the state of California, you have to foster a kid for 6 months before you could adopt them. So you have to go through the entire foster program. So what that involved is it involved a lot of panels. And I got asked to speak on a panel, and I was in front of a bunch of people who either had given up their children for adoption or are going through adoption. And so it was kind of like this, just ask the questions. And one of the mothers asked the question if I had ever reached out and found my birth mother. I said, no, I don't really have a desire to, because I have my family. That was just a vessel to get me here, and everything else was taken care of. And she immediately started breaking down. She said, that's my biggest fear. So it kind of changed my mindset a little bit and made me want to reach out and try to find my birth mother. So I started on this process and found a website, put all my information in there. And about 2 weeks later, I got a random email from some lady down in San Diego. She called herself an adoption angel. You know, that's what she does. She sent me all these vital statistics, and it's like government records. I'm like, well, this stuff's all sealed, but somehow she has access to it. And she goes, were you originally born Jeffrey? I have no idea. My birth certificate says James. It's always been James as far as I know. She goes, well, I believe you are Jeffrey, and gave me the name, and this is your birth mother, and this is your birth father, and gave me the whole rundown. And so kind of sat on that for a little while, and then decided to reach out because she literally lives less than 30 miles from here.
Oh, wow.
And so I reached out. I had a conversation with her. She heard my bit, and she goes, you have a family. You obviously have your life moving on. I'd appreciate it if you don't contact me again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that. And so, yeah, it was, I have to say that probably affected this whole other metamorphosis I went through and another life change. But yeah, it was really disappointing after my sister had such a warm welcome. But then we went down the road and ended up doing a little more investigation and found my birth father, who lives up near Portland. And I've gone and had breakfast with him. And it's really interesting to see who you look like. Mm-hmm. And 40 years into my life, I finally got to go see the man that looks like an older version of me.
Wow.
And he's come visit us, and he's met our kids, and we exchange Christmas cards from time to time. And I haven't been as good as I should be on keeping in touch with them. But yeah, so that's the interesting adoption story. And in fact, as we were digging in, I found out that I was born June 5th, but I wasn't adopted until like July. And so I was somewhere for a month, and I don't know where. Oh. So that's the big mystery. Where was Jim for a month, of the first month of his life?
So do you think that maybe, she has other kids, and, because the reason I have an aunt who, had a child that he found out later in his late 40s that his dad wasn't his dad. And then he just disowned her and walked away from his mom that raised him and was part of his life for 40 some years. He was so angry.
Wow.
Well, thanks to Facebook, we're able to do some digging. And so before she blocked me, because I think I did send her a friend request.
That is just insane. That's crazy. That is just insane.
But she does have a son, and I do know that he is adopted. So I'm actually the only child that she gave birth to.
Oh my goodness.
Same with
And my birth father never married, never had kids. I'm the only child, his only child.
He was the only child, the only blood child.
Yeah.
Were they together like after you were born?
No, it was a high school thing. She was a senior at Mater Dei High School. And so it was 1970, and she went away to have a baby.
Do you ever feel like,
then came back,
even though how painful it was for you to, in a way, be rejected by her, do you feel like it was on the flip side because you were a constant reminder of, your father, or just like the pain that it brings her that she had to give you up or something like that?
too.
I've gotten to a point in my life where it's 100% on her. Yeah. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I know.
No, it hasn't yet. 100%.
Yeah.
I know my birth father knew her husband that she's currently married to, and said he was a complete asshole back in the day. And if he doesn't know about it, and I was to resurface after many years, or her child, or anything else. Mm-hmm. But to be fair too, it's a fairly common response. And had I done the right thing and left her my contact information, there's a good chance she may have followed up and tried to reach out and contact me. But we also live in a world of social media, and she knew to block me, so she knows how to get in touch with me too.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I feel.
I'm wondering if making no excuse, because I don't think there's an excuse for her behavior. Honestly.
There's not.
I'm like,
None.
I'm just, my mind's
Right.
blown. But because she adopted, she doesn't want her adopted to have feelings
Yeah.
for his bio mom.
There, lots of things can be planned.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Lots of things can be
Yeah.
the truth, but the truth of it is that's just foul to me.
Yes.
Sorry.
Very.
Yeah,
She's missing out.
it hit.
She missed out.
hit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and all I wanted to do was just basically say, look, I've got a child, I have a great life, I got a career, everything's good. Thank you. Thank you for not flushing me. Right? Thank
Yeah.
you for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you.
That's strong. That's strong. You're very strong, Jim.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was hard. I remember when that happened. That was really hard.
Yeah. I can imagine.
It's a lot easier for me to hear it today than, but I was a lot like you. You see fire for him, and you just want to get so protective.
I'm mad.
And as a mother,
Yeah.
I just don't comprehend it.
I
I don't
can't
comprehend
at
it.
all.
Like even if I had to give my baby up to somebody, I don't think I'd ever not want an opportunity to do
Yeah.
it.
Or to know what
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
that life turned into for sure.
Yeah.
I'm still grateful that she did give me up when she did, because I have zero regrets for
Right.
the life that I was given. So whatever she's going through, whatever she was going through at the time, I mean, those are her demons to deal with.
Yeah.
I've had to obviously deal with mine, but it's completely on her as far as that goes. And I don't own any of that. I've kind of released that, if that
That's
makes
amazing.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work to do that.